Okay, so let's talk about brightening underneath the eyes and concealing dark circles. I have a little bit of puffiness this morning and a little bit of discoloration. I'm really fortunate. I really don't have a lot of trouble with dark circles. My biggest thing is the ruddiness over my nose. It's just kind of red, and it's always like that. My dad's has really ruddy skin, and I get that from him. So the first and simplest is to start with an eye cream, or in the daytime, I like to use my eye illuminator. It's just our eye cream with pearlizer in it. And I just pick up, it's kind of a solid, and you just rub it with your finger. I use my ring finger under my eyes, and it kind of melts with the friction and your body temperature. And you just smooth a little bit of that under your eye. Always from the outside in, towards your nose, okay? And use your ring finger because that's the weakest finger on your hand. It'll do the least amount of damage to that thin skin. Now, what eye cream does is it has a dense molecular weight, so it actually puts a little bit of pressure on that puffiness under your eyes to help force the fluid up out of there. Because when we sleep at night and we're not blinking, our eyes are just closed, that fluid will pool there. The other thing it does is it fills in the fine lines. It works to diminish fine lines, but it also does just a fine like spackle and fills them in so things don't show up as much when you put your foundation over the top. Fills in them fine lines. Then you can conceal dark circles with lots of different things. I mentioned the terracotta blush, which is super pretty. It's a super pretty blush. And it's real apricot-y looking. And what it does is that coral color cancels out the purple. So if you have like really dark circles and it's that purpley look, that will cancel that out. It's not going to work on me because I don't have anything that color to cancel. But we can brighten my under eyes. So you could use a white concealer. You could use the light concealer, or you could use Shadow Sense in Whisper Pink or Candlelight, depending on what your skin tone is like. I'm a little more pink as opposed to yellow tone. I'm cool toned, so I would use the Whisper Pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use concealer under one eye and the Whisper Pink under the other, so you can see how they work. And you can use your finger. I have a brush that I use. There it is, for my concealer, and I kind of like it. So it takes such a small amount. So you would just squeeze out a little bit, and mine's getting a little low, so it's hard to, see, then I get too much. I get a whole bunch. Little tiny bit on my finger, and dot it, and up here. I like to conceal this bruising spot that I have at the corner of my eye. A little bit more. And I just pat it. And you want to pat it all the way down and kind of into a V underneath your eye. So it goes like this, okay? Fill all that in. And that's usually what I use my brush for, is that up here, because I have a hard time getting that in there. And you can just pat that. And it doesn't show a lot. You see that? It's got some glare. Or you can use your Shadow Sense, and the Whisper Pink will also brighten too, because it's a little lighter. And just pat some, like that. Pat it in a little bit. And you can use that up there in that corner too. Now, it looks really bright, but we're going to take my foundation, and I combine a little bit of my foundation with pearlizer. So I stirred it together with my brush. And I'm going to use this brush this morning. This is my favorite brush, but I've kind of abused it and it needed cleaned, and so it's still wet. So I'm going to use this one. This is a nice brush too. Pick up that color, and when you're working over your concealer or that shadow sense, you want to stipple that or pat it, okay? And see how I just keep patting that? This is a really nice finishing brush because it puts on a nice, I'm going to pat over this one too. And the rest of my face I can smooth it around a little bit, but when you're going over concealer, you want to stipple that so your concealer that you lay down stays. That contour shaped brush is amazing around your eyes and your nose because it just gets in all the little crevices so easy. Now, the cool thing about the foundation, and I use a little tinted moisturizer with it too, it has a little tiny bit of green concealer in it, so the green canceled the red out on my nose. I didn't even have to conceal that. It's not really bad, it's just something that I notice. Okay, so see? We brightened that up under my eyes. It makes you look brighter and more awake and ready for the day.